Pistol Pete Enterprises presents the Pete Maravich Collection. Heir to a Dream, the best-selling autobiography chronicling the colorful life of Pistol Pete and his quest to change the game of basketball. Homework Basketball, the most complete and in-depth approach ever created on learning the fundamentals of the game. Nearly 4 hours of solid instruction and fun with the pistol himself. Maravich Memories, the LSU years. Considered lost forever, this recently discovered footage has been compiled into a wonderful collector's video. Also a full-color Maravich Memories poster featuring pictures of genuine Pistol Pete memorabilia. You'll enjoy the nostalgic look back into Pete's world with this poster suitable for framing. Finally, look like a winner with the official Pistol Pete's Homework Basketball t-shirt featuring the famous Homework Basketball logo. The Pistol Pete Collection, perfect gifts for any sports enthusiasts. For more information, write Pistol Pete Collection, Post Office Box 80089, Baton Rouge, Louisiana 70898.
The times were full of change and freedom of expression. A new era was about to dawn in American sports. 1966. LSU's new basketball coach, Press Maravich, went out on a limb to predict the revival of basketball in the state of Louisiana. All eyes of sports enthusiasts focused on the John M. Parker Coliseum, the famed Cow Palace. There they found the prophecy personified, a basketball wizard, Pistol Pete Maravich.
We got to the gym and everybody's saying, well, where's this kid? And somebody pointed out this little skinny guy, 6'5", but about 150 pounds. And, we all said, oh, come on, that can't be him. Which one is he? And, we watched him for a little bit, and he goes down court, between his legs, behind his back. I said, well, I guess he is for real.
He could do things with the basketball that nobody else probably ever dreamed of at that time.
He was unique. He was one of a kind. You can just tell the guy was a magician. The things he did with a basketball, I'd never seen. And I'd played with some great guys in high school, but you saw Pete that couple hours that night, and you just knew that you were going to be playing with a one-of-a-kind.
Showtime burst on the scene as the Tigers played to the beat of a different drummer. The Pistol and his supporting cast were center stage. Capacity crowds watched in amazement as the Pistol began to perform his magic. The dream Coach Maravich brought to LSU was unleashed by his heir apparent. With his floppy socks around his ankles and his mop-top hair blowing in the breeze, the magic show began. Basketball had been all but forgotten in Louisiana, but suddenly, a bright light was cast upon the hopes of Tiger fans. Quickly, the South realized the brilliant flash was a lightning bolt named Pistol Pete Maravich, a player who could score at will, dominating every game in which he played. Pete led the pack over the rainbow toward the pot of purple and gold. The Pistol and press transformed the Tigers from the conference doormat into a winner to be reckoned with. Life with father was good for Pistol Pete. Press became his biggest supporter, telling the media, when you have a good horse, you run him. Run him he did. It became the norm to see Pete score 40 points a game. All the long-standing records began to fall. Pete was on track to score over 50 points numerous times. The more he scored, the hotter he became. The fever began to spread across the country. The whole nation was wowed by the Pistol. His 44 points per game average kept the top gun flying high. Press's dream of success was fulfilled before his eyes.
It was exciting. I really don't know how to paraphrase it, but Pete was he was so magical on the court. You know, he was exciting. You knew if you got open, you'd get the ball. He wasn't unselfish like, a lot of articles said the only thing he could do was shoot. Pete's real charm, I think, that he'd really like to do was pass the ball. And I think if you watch any kind of film clips of him, you'll probably see Pete passing the ball as much as he's shooting. Pete came down, and, he was a magician with the ball. He could do things so fluidly that you got caught up in it sometimes. Like I said, sometimes you'd be on a fast break, and if you were trailing it, you'd sometimes stop at half court just to see what he was going to do with the basketball. They probably thought you'd seen every trick he had, and all of a sudden he'd come up with a new one.
And you never knew when to expect it. It could be a two-handed bounce pass, it could be behind a back pass, or between a leg pass, so you always had to be ready for the ball no matter where he was.
He had a knack for knowing where to be at the right time, or even where to pass the ball. I mean, as far as getting passes through 8 defenders, there's not that many on the court, but it just seemed like, no matter what obstacles he came through, he could get the ball to you inside for a shot if he wasn't open outside. And Pete was really, his passing, I think, was even better than his shooting.
The rivalries of the Old South helped set aflame Pistol Pete's desire to play full throttle and score at will. Each time he played, a new chapter was written in the memories of those fortunate enough to see him. Stories of his legendary feats spread far and wide, and children began to wonder how they could become like the floppy sock magician, the Pistol. $20,000 hours of sweat, toil, and practice were the secrets to Pistol Pete's success. The Pistol knew that only hard work, desire, discipline, and dedication would help him fulfill his father's dream of bringing excitement and uniqueness to Showtime basketball. The unbelievable and unorthodox playmaking and shooting were second nature and fundamental to the master of the unexpected.
Playing with Pete really made us all a little bit better ball players. I mean, back in those days, not too many of us, throw the ball behind our back or, dribble between our legs or everything. And Chris tried, gave us periods during practice where that's all we were supposed to do is do these little fancy things and just try to work on ball handling and everything. And then he got, so he was going, this homework basketball and, try to take it around the state. And so they started, say, okay, you do this drill, you do this drill. And I was chosen to do the ricochet, where you bounce it between your legs as hard as you can and catch it in your back, behind your back. And the first couple times were a little scary.
The interesting thing about the crazy drills, there was always a purpose behind it. And if you look behind the craziness, there was a lot of fundamentals. It was eye-hand coordination. First time he had us doing these things, we kind of looked at one another and said, what's the deal? We don't need to do this kind of stuff. Then we saw Pete do it. And, of course, everybody said, well, if he can do it, we're going to try and do it. The interesting thing about it, as we started to do that, we saw other teams doing the same kind of drills, and then the kids, when when we went to a lot of the clinics and stuff, I'd see little 5- and 6-year-old kids trying to spin the ball on their finger, trying to do it around the world, trying to bounce the ball between the legs and catch it on the backside just like Pete did. When we saw that, we knew that basketball had arrived. We knew that the fundamentals were here, and Press had accomplished what he had set out to do in the state of Louisiana, and that's to bring basketball.
Basketball had indeed arrived in Louisiana, and Press would pursue his ultimate dream of elevating the game, making basketball the most exciting sport in the country. Showtime was in the national spotlight.
Pistol meet with Maravich to me was showtime. Inch for inch, pound for pound, was the greatest basketball player that I ever saw play the game. And Pete Maravich revolutionized basketball, really. I mean, he did things that people had never done before. He was a force that was just sort of incredible, that really moved the sport along. The word spread. There's this unbelievable great player over there that you can see in the cow barn or in our Coliseum on campus. They literally filled the place to watch him.
And everybody knew that when Pete Maravich played as a freshman or as an upperclassman, that it was showtime. It was showtime. He made basketball fun. And he was the man who put basketball in the limelight here at LSU. He's the man who provided the spark for the sport really to grow as it has through the years. And I guarantee you he could stuff them in from everywhere, and he could put a ton of points in the basket. Everywhere LSU would go, the teams would sell out. And this is before selling out basketball arenas was a popular thing. He was really a dominant force in the game, and as I say, he was a showbiz player. He just was a man who just had the touch. The game was built for him, and he was made for the game.
With Pete Maravich, you could go to any road game and find standing room only. There were crowds outside dying to buy tickets to get in and see the game, as in other cases at some other schools, where there were actually people who were so enthralled and so taken in by Pete's outstanding wizardry on the basketball court that they felt, win or lose, they had paid the price of admission of seeing a great basketball player and were treated to an outstanding exhibition of basketball. And as a result, Pete meant so much to basketball, not only at LSU, but in the Southeastern Conference and everywhere else he played.
Pete really started the interest in the SEC basketball outside of Kentucky because he was so entertaining to watch. Our senior year, the game at LSU was on national television, and our game was seen on more TV stations than any college game ever, and so it did get a lot of coverage. And Pete had, I think, 63 points. That was fun, a lot of fun, getting that type of recognition playing on national television.
We'd show up, and like we were billed as Pistol Pete and his sideshow. You know, I think a lot of times though, a lot of people thought we were a little circus coming to town, and Press, I think, just really wanted to get the crowd going, get a lot of interest in basketball. He loved the game. He'd played it, you know, his childhood and all his years, and he just, you know, really wanted the people, especially in the state of Louisiana, to really catch on and really love the game as much as he did.
We can demonstrate shooting right in here with this type of movement on the ball. And this is a very important basic fundamental for kids learning how to shoot.
Philosophy was sports is show business, and Pete and Press played that to the hilt. Pete did it not only in college, but he did it in the pros. People are there to be entertained. They're paying good money. And if I can throw a behind-the-back bounce pass or a between-the-leg pass rather than a standard two-handed bounce pass that everybody can see a fifth grader do, then why not do the fancy pass? Why not put on a show? That's why the people are there. He was a showman, and Press basically said, do it for him. Do it for him. Put on a show. And that was the name of the game.
The name of the game continued to be action-packed round ball in Pete's Palace, now the Pete Maravich Assembly Center. The heir to the Maravich legacy, Coach Dale Brown.
I think just to be able to sell basketball to people and to fill an arena said a lot about the Maraviches and the father Press, which Pete gave a great deal of credit to. He said everything he got was from his daddy. But the contribution the family made themselves, and particularly the pistol for basketball, is something that I don't think anyone could ever totally understand unless you were the basketball coach at LSU. When you have a chance to go back and look at tapes, you really kind of say, hey, I wonder if that was staged. I wonder if that was false. He is the greatest wizard with the ball that I've ever seen.
Martin at the top of the key. Martin, the turn shot. Up. No good. That's Pete on the rebound. Maravich now on the dribble. Brings it down across the timeline. Across the right half of the circle. Jump shot. It's good. And he has to saves it, but Pete Maravich picks the loose ball up. Gets it off to Jeff Tribbett. Drives. Lays it up. Good. Ball out to Pete Maravich to the right half. Moves to the circle. Takes a jump shot. Good. Gets it away. Tribbett picks it up. Gets it back to Pete.
The fortunate ones who experienced the excitement firsthand share their memories of those unforgettable nights.
Well, the biggest thing that Pistol did, I think, in the state of Louisiana is he put a basketball goal in everybody's backyard. Pete was basically an introvert. He could really project when he had a basketball in his hands. And Pete seemed to get a special pleasure, not so much out of the points as he did out of the passes he made, the assists that he was able to get, and the type assist.
Behind the back dribble, brings it across the line, comes down to the right half of the lane, takes a long jump shot, good. Jump shot that's going to be taken by Hodges, he misses. Dave Ramsden on the rebound to Pete. Pete moves down, fakes his man out, takes a jump shot, good. Stolen by Jeff Tribbett. Tribbett now with a left-hand hook pass down to Pete. Fakes it behind his back to Ralph Euclid. Crossed in, and Ralph Euclid reaches in, steals the ball, gets it out to Tribbett. Tribbett to Pete. Pete drives down, looked like he might have been fouled, takes a jumper, good. And Pete steals from him, brings it down across the line. Drives behind the back pass, put up by you.
Pete would do things. He was creative, and his dad knew he was creative. They had a great relationship. His dad knew he had a creative genius on his hands, and he let him go. He let him do his thing, and that's what made Pete great, because he was not structured, and he could go down the court, and I never saw a game that he didn't do something exciting and different each time. And it was dictated by the game. In other words, where the people were, he would do a particular move that he hadn't particularly practiced. Instinctively, he would do this, and it would be an exciting move. Every time Pete Maravich got the ball, you knew it was showtime on this fast break. And the crowd would start hollering, super, 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 showtime, showtime. They'd get carried away. And it just electrified not only the crowds here, all over the conference, all over everywhere.
Looks for Pete, gets it off to him to the right side, at the right half of the lane. Moves to his right, takes a jump shot, that's good. He brings it across the timeline. Now they're chasing him, puts it in the freeze. Now he's got the charity strike. The shot is missed. Pete on the rebound. Maravich across the timeline. Behind the back pass, Jeff Tribbett off with the left side, good.
Gosh, when we heard about Pete, we thought it'd be, we'd be good, but never like this. It took us about 5 minutes to know he was the greatest thing that ever happened. From that moment on, total love. Total. He just thrilled us to death. All his antics. And then he was so young. He just appealed to all of us. We all want him to be our little boy.
Lots of action in this game. There's a missed shot, and Pete gets the rebound. Alley-oop pass to Danny Hester. Drives to the right side, lays it up. Misses. Missed with the ball. Rich Hickman reaches in, steals the ball, gets it away to Pete. Pete drives, comes down the lane, and is nailed. This is Turner at the free throw. Drive missed. Rebound to Pete. Maravich across the line. That's the left corner of the circle. He's lost the left-hand tape.
The greatest basketball player that ever walked on the floor. Not only from scoring, but his ability to handle the ball, to pass the ball around, shooting. There was no equal to Pete Maravich. Pistol he just did things nobody could believe. And then you didn't believe it when you saw it. You said he couldn't have done that, but he did it.
Jeff Tribbett with the ball now. Gets it to Pete Maravich. Top of the key. Maravich takes a jump pass into Hester, lays it up good. We're in overtime now with 1:13 left. Jeff Tribbett with the ball. Looks for Pete. Pete goes to the corner. It's blocked. He was fouled. No call. Takes another jump shot. It's good. Maravich handles the ball. Gets it off to Rich Hickman. Back to Pete. Pete puts it up in heavy traffic and lays it in. And he's fouled.
Actually, seeing him play in person was
something that was just a total experience. He would attempt and, of course, accomplish things with a basketball that no one had ever done. The interesting thing about Pete was not only did he change the face of basketball as we knew it, but he also changed the lives of many young people that were my age, both in junior high and high school, that tried to copy his game and dedicate themselves even further to basketball. There was no secret that Pete spent countless thousands of hours in the game of basketball. So naturally, the kids that wanted to become like him and look like him, play like he did, started to try to copy his game. And so there really started the interest in basketball as I knew it.
Loose out to Lupcho, gives to Pete. Pete fakes his man, goes up, lays it up and in. Tigers on the fast break now. Passes in to Tribbett. Tribbett gets it across to Pete. Pete drives to the right side. Bangs the ball away from Wall. Gets the ball away to Pete Maravich. Maravich strives to the right half of the circle. Takes a jump. No good. Danny Hester tips it off. Rich Hickman gets it. Passes down to Pete. Oh, beautiful behind the back bounce. Pass to Tribbett. Peters on the attack. Top of the key. Oh, wants a shot. No good. Pete gets the rebound. Brings it down court. Across the timeline. Drives down to the right half of the lane. Goes to the right side and takes a jumper. It is good. Tells you can ball. Bounce pass to Pete Maravich. Over the shoulder. Backward pass to Rich Hickman on the left sideline. Hickman back to Maravich. Maravich turns. Over.
The beautiful things about his game, I thought, was his assist when he wanted to do it. It was unbelievable. He could do things that I didn't think could be done with a basketball.
Tigers ahead at this point. Maravich. Ball off the timeline. Shovel pass off to Hickman. Hickman drives, lays it up and in. Makes a long jumper. Good. Peters got a rebound. Pass break. Ball is stolen by Pete Maravich. Drives down the left sideline. May have been covered. Puts it up, lays it in, and it's good. Action, the Tigers with the ball. Pass in goes to Pete. Maravich across the timeline.
I lived to go to the basketball game. I actually lived to tune in when they would play. Just the whole atmosphere of the thing was unbelievable. It just there'll never be another one like him, I don't think.
Pete Maravich has it at the right sideline. Takes a long right hand pusher, and it's good. Pete puts it up, and it's good. Action now as it goes under the basket, and Pete short comes down to the top of the key. Looks around for Pete. Pete comes around the horn, gets a pick from Tribbett, stops, takes a jumper. Long push shot put up, no good, and the rebound goes to Maravich. Maravich driving now across the timeline. Puts it up, and it's good. Fast action against Kentucky's Wildcats as Tribbett gets it off to Maravich. Maravich a jumper from the right side, good.
My favorite thing was his long two-hand push shots that he would come down the court slowly and wipe his fingers through his hair, and he'd come maybe 8 or 10 feet across midcourt, and he'd just kind of stop and get that ball down like it was like he was drawing a pistol and throw up those long 35, 38-foot push shots.
Rich brings the ball down court, walks it down, takes a jump pass to Hickman on the corner, back to Pete. Pete drives the baseline around Issel and lays it in. Maravich brings it across the timeline. Runs into her crowd as he's triple team and gets a jump pass off to Hickman. Hickman out to Tribbett. Tribbett to Pete. Pete under the basket. Double pump fake and gets it up, and Kentucky goes up. A hook shot. Scramble for a loose ball. Dave Branston fighting for Issel for the rebound. The ball flies loose. Maravich picks it up. Is going to jump and take a shot that is good.
Pete Maravich was the first real superstar in college basketball. His commitment to the game was total. Pete put basketball on a different plane than we'd ever seen at that time.
Tribbett with the ball, gets it over to Pete. Pete is double teamed over in the right corner of the circle. Overhead pass back out to Tribbett again. Dribbles in, passes to Hickman. Back to Tribbett, into Pete. Pete lays it up and in, and is fouled. Top of the key, gets a pick, takes a shot. It's no good. Then Pete Maravich takes the rebound. Brings it down across the timeline. Drives down the right side. A running hook.
He was so fluid. He had a real quick first step. Great with either hand.
Maravich drives down the court now. Fakes to his left, stops, goes to the right, takes a jump shot from the circle. Baseball pass across court and under the basket. Pete now getting double teamed once again.
enjoyed watching Pete with his between-the-legs dribble, for instance. Then also his skyhooks. For not a tall man, his shot was a skyhook many times.
Maravich brings it across the timeline, goes into the circle, runs out to the right half of the lane. It's bumped, the takes it. Shot's going to be taken, and it is no good. And Maravich between two pulls down the rebound and brings it down the court. Looking for Ramsden, shovel pass today. Ramsden puts it up and bank. Here's Lupcho passing it off Maravich. Long jumper, top the key, and that's no good. You pull the rebound, gets it to Lupcho. Lupcho off the Pete. Pete dribbles behind his back, goes to the left half of the lane, fakes, pumps, and hits. Then bounces it off to Maravich. Maravich, a left-handed hook, inbound pass, and Maravich gets in front of it, steals it.
His image, supposedly, was that he was a ball hog and he was selfish. To the contrary, frankly, I thought he was too unselfish. I think he was such above the crowd, not just his own team, that I think a lot of people said, well, the guy shot too much. Let me say this. Had I coached, he'd have taken more shots than he did for his daddy.
But of all the shots the pistol took, none was heard louder than the one fired in the winter of 1970. It was the shot that would leave its permanent mark in the NCAA record book. This night, only 40 points separated Pistol Pete from being forever remembered as college basketball's leading scorer and greatest star.
That LSU was going to play Ole Miss, everybody knew about Pete was going to have a good shot to break the record, Oscar Robertson's record. And I remember that I didn't want to miss that game for anything, and especially didn't want to miss having it on film. And so my father and I went to the game. We were filming the game as usual. My dad was filming it. And when it got to that last shot, the shot that was going to break the record, I got real excited, and I told my dad, I said, look, I want to film it. Don't you film it. I want to film it, 'cause I want to make sure it gets on camera. And so, and he said, no, I better do it, son. I said, no, Dad, I want to do it. He says, I want to do it. So I grabbed the camera, and he was going down to take that jump shot, and I was filming him like that, and then he got ready to shoot. I moved it off like that and started looking at it. And so it I should have let my father film it probably. It was just unbelievable. I mean, when they stopped the game and all the players grabbed him, put him on their shoulders, handed him the game ball. It was just chills ran through my spine all the way down my toes. It was just, you knew this was history.
Here we go with Pistol Pete passing it off to Tribbett. Back to Pete. Jump shot. Long one. Bank. Good. There's 39. When will it come? When will it come? Basketball history about to be made after John M. Parker. There's the long one. It is. Oh, it's missed. Tip in is by Danny Hester off the two. There's a long one. Pete tried. No good. It's blocked. Off to Ole Miss. This on the attack. Traveling called on the Reds. Back to the LSU Tigers. Maravich on the attack. Goes to the right corner of the circle. Will this be it? The shot! It is! Missed! Ooh! All right, here's Pete trying again. There's the long one. Bank. No good. Ole Miss on the rebound. Tribbett brings it down. Looking for Pete. Can't find Pete loose this time, so he tries to get it to Hester. Hester back to Pete. Pete takes the shot. It is! Off the rim. No good. Rebs on the rebound. Here's another try. No good. Tribbett coming down to the left side. Bob Lang has it off to Pete. This, maybe it is! 2 points and the record is broken. And Pistol Pete etches his name in basketball history. Crowd goes wild and they really deserve it. This is what they came to see tonight. Besides the victory for LSU, they wanted to see magic over by Pistol, and Pete did it and surpasses Oscar Robertson with his 41st point. This is what they came to see, an overflow crowd of some 2,000 more than the seating capacity, and Pete is hoisted up on the shoulders. A memorable night, Pete Maravich etches his name in basketball history. Hey, how's it feel? Oh, in the game right now. 73 points. Over Oscar Robertson. That did it. That last shot did it. It went through, didn't it? What kind?
Jump shot. Jump shot did it. Jump shot. That's your favorite shot? That's my favorite shot. I would like to say and emphasize that I think he's the greatest basketball player that I have ever coached in my life. And I feel that the kind of basketball that he plays, from the standpoint of his passing, his shooting, his dribbling, will be the basketball of the 70s. Pistol Pete, as far as his ball handling is concerned, is perhaps the most exciting basketball player. He is a magician with the ball. He has instinctive abilities, and he has great maneuverability from the standpoint of his passing and dribbling. And he can make the play in basketball, which is the most fantastic part of his basketball game.
Never again will one man so revolutionize the game of basketball. Like a painter, the court was his canvas. His records, like a great masterpiece, have stood the test of time. The magic of Pistol Pete will be etched forever in the minds of those who witnessed college basketball's greatest star. Maravich Memories. The legend lives on.
The legend is back with the most exciting and innovative approach to learning the game of basketball. In the glow of the steel mills of Pennsylvania, he began to sharpen his skills to a razor-sharp edge. After thousands of hours of practice, sweat, toil, and pain, a legend was born that would change the game. With his own special style and mastery unmatched comes an instructional video series that will challenge even the best. Pistol Pete's Homework Basketball. Now, here's a sneak preview of this 4-tape instructional series. Pistol Pete's Homework Basketball video on shooting is the most complete instructional ever devised on the art of shooting a basketball. And who better to learn from than the man who rewrote the record books, Pistol Pete Maravich. Pistol Pete didn't just play the game, he was an offensive machine with a phenomenal 3,667 points as college basketball's all-time leading scorer. That's more than 44 points a game. For 10 years, he thrilled and entertained NBA crowds with his shooting expertise, bombarding the nets with more than 15,000 points.
I'm Peter Maravich. During my basketball career, I earned the nickname Pistol Pete because of my shooting technique. I can teach you the same techniques of shooting that helped me become the NCAA's all-time scoring leader if you're willing to do your homework.
It's all here in Pistol Pete's Homework Basketball. Designed for kids of all ages, Pete's approach will instruct and entertain aspiring youth, as well as challenge the most ardent basketball enthusiasts.
Hop in the backboard. Who's going to get up there and get it? Michael Jordan can't get that ball up there, I'm telling you.
Pistol Pete puts the fun in the fundamentals of basketball, teaching you the art of shooting the way he learned it. Included in the tape are how to master the basics, the psychology of shooting, and the application of Pistol Pete's techniques for every type of shot, including the jump shot, the layup, the hook shot, as well as an array of shots that will push any player to his limits.
The level of success that you attain depends upon your God-given talent and abilities, good instruction, and practice, practice, practice. Remember, don't forget to do your homework.
Dribbling like you've never seen it before. No other single video can offer the many-faceted combinations of instruction, motivation, and the one-of-a-kind drills that made Pete Maravich a basketball legend. Different strokes, the laid back, and scrambled eggs are just a few names that will forever become etched on a viewer's mind.
Scrambled egg. Another creative fundamental drill of dribbling. Scrambled egg. Okay? Scrambled eggs dribble. All those different parts. It'll scramble your brain for a while. You'll be very frustrated when you do it. But remember this, stay with it. Stay with that commitment. You can do it. Once you do it, you'll find yourself being able to come out on the court. You'll be able to set things up. You'll be able to take that ball and go any place you want with it because your hand will become an extension of it. That's a tremendous, creative, fundamental drill just for you. Dribbling blindfolded. That's what I used to do when I was 8 to 9 years old. Hey, I had fun. It was so much fun for me to come out and dribble blindfolded.
A master of the unexpected pass, Pistol Pete will keep viewers on the edge of their seat as they see a true artist at work. This superb technician not only takes you through the basics, but he will push any player to their limits.
Passing. That's what we're here today to do. How to learn how to pass. I'm going to teach you not only the mechanics of passing, the basic 4 passes, the fundamentals of passing, but I'm also going to teach you today how to do the creative, the more advanced type of pass, the artistic type of pass, the deceptive pass.
Homework basketball is a way of learning the game, a way of mastering the game that is unmatched by any other instructional series.
Now you've just learned how to throw the chest pass, the chest bounce, the overhead, and the baseball pass. 4 basic fundamental passes. But there's one mistake that all kids make, and that is they telegraph the pass. Telegraph, what do you mean? I'm showing where the pass is going to be made. I'm looking down, I get ready to throw, and the defensive man knocks it down. I do it again, he knocks it down. Again, he knocks it down. Again, he knocks it down. I keep telling myself, and the coach says too, why do you telegraph your pass, Pete? Don't you know how to fake? That's what I want you to know right now. You have to fake. Fake. All you got to do is fake.
Whether the viewer's goal is to just make the team or even to make the Hall of Fame, if they practice their homework, they'll have everything they need to give them the edge over any opponent. Ball handling skills. To Pistol Pete, they're the key to playing your best game. They're simple to learn, but they take a lifetime to master. What looks like a total impossibility in the beginning becomes a possibility with the Pistol's help.